All right, this time of year in Niagara can only mean one thing, and it's harvest season, and we know that it is bountiful here in Niagara, especially when it comes to wine, and that's where we are right now. We are at Urban Tractor Farm Winery, and we're here with Paul Maretzki, who's one of the owners with your husband.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the space that we're at right now.
Okay, well, we own 47 acres up in Beamsville, just considered the upper bench of the benchlands, I guess is the tourist name.
Yeah. This is, wine country, of course, this part of town. How long have you been here?
So we moved out here 2009 from Oakville. So we're going into our 15th year.
15th year. And when did wine become part of the plan here? Yeah,
so we were not planning this actually. It kind of was a serendipitous situation. We came out here from Oakville looking for land to grow our family. We have a large family. We have 8 children, 5 boys, 3 girls. And we were just looking to spread our wings a little bit in the country, but we drove all over GTA, and after 7 years of looking for land, we just like, there's no way we'll ever afford this, forget it. And so then we found a property in Beamsville, about 5 minutes that way, and we were thinking, well, let's build a place. Gord had some construction background, and we thought, let's build something, we'll sell it, we'll go back and look again.
Yeah.
And then while we were driving, we saw this old dilapidated farm actually it was covered in Concord grapes at the time. Yeah. And we thought, this is perfect. Has all the dumpy buildings. When you buy dumpy buildings, you get more land. So we got 47 acres.
Wow.
So we were just growing no grapes. We did 23 rows of Concords, no big deal. But we got really good at growing hay. Gord had no farming background whatsoever. And we just started to grow hay. We were sending 500 bales to Florida at one point. Mind you, COVID shut that down at the borders. But anyway, so then all of a sudden, after doing really well at hay, animals, kids, he said, you know what, let's try another crop. So 2018, he sat me down, we went for lunch, and he said, let's try grapes. And I was like, okay. So we planted 5 acres of grapes. I have a little sneaky feeling at that time he may have wanted to do a winery, but it didn't really come up. But then, so 2018 takes 3 years to get a partial crop, 5 years to get a full crop. We were growing for a different winery. So we called them up after the 3rd year and we said, hey, your grapes are ready, come get them. And they said, oh, we actually don't need them anymore. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah. So suddenly we were stuck with all these. An opportunity. Yes, an opportunity.
An opportunity came about.
COVID hit, lockdown, Gord got sent home, and he looked at me and he said, why don't we just do this ourselves? Yeah. He had some winemaking background at the time. He worked at Niagara College. He had access to all the wine experts there at the campus, food and wine campus. And so we just dove in. He was willing to get all the licenses and do all the things required. The only problem was we had no equipment, no experience with commercial level, no tasting room, and so that leads us probably to the next thing I need to show you.
Okay, all right. Well, we are in the vineyard now. We're going to tour this 47-acre property throughout the day. You guys also are doing something cool with stained glass as well. Okay,
that's part of the story.
We're going to get into that, but we're going to head back to the retail spot because we are hanging out here at Urban Tractor Farms Winery in beautiful Beamsville. It's grape and wine season. We're celebrating here all morning long on CHCH Morning Live. All right, we are back celebrating everything harvest season at Urban Tractor Farm Winery, and we're back here with Paula. And Paula, this is the infamous horse trailer.
Yes.
Okay, tell us how this became a serving trailer.
Yes. So there we were. We had decided to start a winery. Gord was doing all the work to get the licenses up and so on, and press wine and make wine. We just had one small problem. We had no retail space. We had no buildings, no equipment, nothing. But then we did have this old horse trailer. And so Gord said to me, why don't we DIY the horse trailer into a wine tasting trailer? And my famous last words are, no one will come. And I was so wrong. Everybody loves it. So we are now in our 3rd summer of serving wine out of the horse trailer. From the minute it gets warm, March, April, May, to October. We've gone right into November.
Oh, wow. Wednesday to Sunday, right?
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Oh wow, 7 days a week.
And we are probably the only one that's open till sundown.
Oh, awesome. Okay, all right. Let's try some of it.
Yes.
We've been talking about it. We've been talking about wine. I've been talking about wine all week. So what do we got here? What are we trying now?
All right. So this is Gewürztraminer. This is a dry. Well, actually, normally it is a sweeter wine. Gord does everything to dry. So you're going to taste, according to the sommeliers that I've spoken with. Gewürztraminer is known for the lychee fruit.
Okay.
So you are going to smell the lychee flavor, taste the lychee flavor, but it is low in sugar, so only 3 grams of sugar, but super, super flavorful in that fruit. The summer that was harvested was 2021, and that is a fantastic summer for sun.
Yeah.
The fall was very wet, so we lost a lot of grapes. They rotted on the vines, so we couldn't get tractors in, but you got the best of the best. So hand-picked by me and some of the kids around here.
Yeah, you put the kids to work. You mentioned 8 kids. You put them to work.
Some are paid, some are not.
1 is 6, I know the feeling for sure. That is a really smooth,
great.
Like really crisp, like
super well known
and like you
for
said, not
being,
too sweet.
always paired usually with an Asian food, Indian, something like that, and Thanksgiving turkey.
All right, let's try the.
So this is our Bacco Noir.
Noir.
Yeah, Bacco. This one's grown right on the other side of the house, so we were just nearby a few minutes ago. Bacco is easy to grow, hard to turn into great wine. Known as a very jammy wine, so you're going to taste. I taste a variety of fruit, anything from currant to raspberry to blackberry to blueberry to plum.
Yeah, okay.
And so that's why it's called jammy. Again, low in sugar, high in flavor. And making its way into some restaurants around town.
Oh, wow, Yeah. Oh, that is good.
Great.
Like you said, not too sweet. That's what sometimes you're hit too much with that.
Yeah, there are some Baccos in the area that are sweeter than ours, so it just depends on your preference. Do you like a drier wine or a sweeter wine? And this one is dry.
Paula, I can't help but notice these little stained glass pieces catching my eye. So
that's part of our story as well.
Is it?
So as we were selling wine out of the trailer all summer long, we started to realize, you have a problem here.
Yeah.
What are we going to do when it's cold? Because at this point, we knew we probably needed to have an actual 365-day-of-the-year building, but it was not going to happen right away.
Yeah.
What do we do then? So one of our kids takes the credit and says, Dad, didn't you at one point teach stained glass? And he's like, that's a great idea. So we asked our customers all summer, would you come if we offered stained glass classes? And every single time, yes, of course. So we quickly did an ad, posted, had 4 people at our first class, 8, then 12, and then 2,000 plus people later.
Wow.
We are booked almost solid every single weekend.
Yeah.
And now, once we're in the Christmas season, we will be doing almost every single day of the week.
All right, we're going to get into that. We're going to meet the other half.
Yes.
But thank you, Paula.
Yeah,
you don't have a glass for yourself, so we can't cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Pour yourself a quick one here.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can cheers, because we're going inside. We're going to learn a little bit more about the stained glass story, and we're going to take a little class ourselves. So cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to be back here at Urban Tractor Farm Winery on CHCH Morning Live. That is some beautiful stained glass, and we are at Urban Tractor Farm Winery. We were talking with Paula. Now we're talking with
Gord.
Gord, we heard the whole story about the trailer. Great work on the trailer, but this seems to be your passion.
Well, it is, and again, like so many of the things that we have done, we've kind of fallen into it. And the trailer, as Paula mentioned, is a fair weather retail space, and we needed to keep things going through the winter months. Not having a 12-month-a-year space, we thought, well, how are we going to sell wine through the winter? The horse trailer is pretty darn cold. And we thought, let's offer some craft classes. One of my kids suggested it, and I just happen to have 40 years experience in stained glass, have taught in the past. And we piloted a few classes, and it seemed really, really popular. And so much so that in the process of developing our winery vision, it's become now a winery arts and crafts vision as well. So there's a real passion, I think, for the arts and crafts again. I don't know if it's because of COVID, people needed something to do. and in particular in the stained glass craft. It was really big in the 80s, but now it has seemed to have a resurgence.
Yeah.
And so we really took that experience and those skills that we had and brought that to our customers who are wine customers. And even more so, we've got a lot of stained glass people.
What does a class consist of then?
Well, a class, typically, our weekend classes is a 3-hour class where you would make a particular project. So we call it a make and take project. And right now, we have got butterflies, dragonflies, pumpkins, and fall leaves. Those are our current offerings.
Yep.
And then come November 1st, we change gears and we go to our very popular Christmas ornament classes, where the Christmas ornament classes are a little bit different in that there's no cutting involved. And students will make 3 pieces rather than 1 piece in the other class. The other classes, they do everything from cutting to foiling to grinding. And in the Christmas ornament classes, they'll do the foiling and soldering only. They'll bypass the cutting portion of it. So they get to take home more, and it's all in the Tiffany tradition. So
that's awesome. And you don't need any previous experience. We're gonna prove that, right?
That's
You're
right.
gonna teach me in the last segment how to do it, right?
I'm going to show you how to cut glass.
Okay, all right, and we're going to continue, and I know this is everything in here is so beautiful. So we are going to take a quick break here. When we come back, you're going to give me a little walkthrough, right?
I will.
Okay, all right, so we're continuing here at Urban Tractor Farm Winery in beautiful wine country in Beamsville, as we've been hanging out here all morning long on CHCH Morning Live. All right, again, looking at some beautiful stained glass pieces from Gordon here. We are at Urban Tractor Farm Winery, and of course, it's not just about the wine here, it's about the stained glass, and we're talking about how popular those classes are. You don't need any experience. We're about to prove that today. What are we gonna do? We're gonna start to make a piece. We don't have a lot of time, so we're gonna start to make a piece.
Well, what I've got laid out here is a typical workflow for making a dragonfly, which the students is typically this style of project. In 3 hours, they'll start from cutting glass to grinding it to foiling it to soldering it. And so, this is the glass as you would get it. You pattern that out, cut your pieces, and then you would wrap each wing in copper foil. And then you butt them together, and then they are soldered together. So this is what would be called the Tiffany technique in the tradition.
What does that mean? That's just the technique that's...
Well, it's in the tradition of Louie Tiffany, who was an American artist in the turn of the century. So he popularized this type of construction. He's very famous for his stained glass lamps and his stained glass windows. A very North American style of stained glass as opposed to the European style. But that's what we teach in the beginning classes. We have advanced classes that you can take that do the traditional European style of assembly. But the cutting is the same for both. Both techniques.
We're gonna get me. What is this? Is a piece of?
I gave you a piece of
practice glass.
Practice glass. That's just plain old float glass, and we're going to learn to cut that glass. So the tools that we're going to use this is our glass cutter. Okay, I'm going to show you how to hold that, and then I'm probably going to get you to use these pliers called the running pliers. But I got to teach you how to do a score first. The score is essentially a controlled scratch across the glass. And that's what we use our glass cutter for. So I want you to hold your finger like that, whatever. Put your cutter in the notch. Like that. Point the screw up to the ceiling.
Screw up to the ceiling,
and put your index finger on the side.
On the side. On the side.
On the side of the head, And you'll notice that there's a little wheel in there. Just with your other finger, just roll the wheel so that you can get a sense of where it is. And we're going to put a scratch across the glass from one side to the other. So the way you're going to do it is you're going to just park your cutter on the edge of the glass as close as possible. On top. On top. Then bring your cutter a little bit higher. And then push down on it as hard as you can. And then once you've got all that pressure mustered, then roll across the other side of the glass.
Oh, that is a satisfying sound.
Perfect. Okay, you can put your cutter down.
Put my cutter down. All right. Yeah.
All right, so you got a decent score, which is
decent score. I'll take it. Yeah.
which is
not a good score, not a great score, a decent score. Sounds like my marks in high school. A decent mark.
It's a good score. It's a good score. That's 99% of your success. If you get a good score, you're going to have success in stained glass.
Yep.
So I'm going to get you to use this tool. It's a running plier.
Yep.
Has a line on top. I'm going to get you to line it up with your score like that.
Okay.
Just on the edge of the glass. You can pick the glass up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Right on the edge of the glass.
Right on the edge.
Yeah.
Give it a little squeeze.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, that again, very satisfying when you're doing this.
So there are other techniques,
Okay.
especially if you're cutting curved lines.
That becomes that.
That's right.
Okay, cool. So it's not that hard. All right, we're running out of time. The class is 3 hours. You're going to get more than that in the 3 minutes we have. Let's talk about this space real quick, because you have big plans for this space.
We do, and we've been in a long process of getting the permits and permissions and things like that to turn this building and the next building over into a 12-month-a-year retail space and production area as well. So we've got the drawings set up for that. We're hoping to pour concrete this fall, so that we've got a place to greet people all year long instead of just at the horse trailer.
You got some big plans here, you and Paula,
Awesome.
and all 8 of your kids have a lot of work ahead of you, but I'm sure it's going to be all worth it. Thanks for showing us the ropes here today.
All right, well, thanks for having us.
Awesome. You want to check them out. It is Urban Tractor Farm Winery. They're on Conkle Road in Beamsville.
Right.
Come check them out, and happy grape and wine, everybody.
Website, urbantractorfarm.com.
There it is.